I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This is one of the quotes from Martin Luther King's Jr. speech, I Have a Dream. I have been interested in Luther King's Jr. life story since being introduced to him, especially knowing how tragic his story was. Knowing that after he did the speech, 24 hours, he did died unfortunately. He passed away. The relevance, as far as relevance for this speech and why I chose to do it, is because racism still impacts us all to this day. Not only black people, but every minority that's in the world can be affected by this, unfortunately. Martin Luther King's Jr. speech was originally directed at black people during that time. However, like I said, this could be said for any people, any minority in this day and age. Today I will be overviewing Martin Luther King's Jr. speech and then apply his message of racism to minorities in this day and age. To get a little bit of background on why this speech is so famous is that this speech was delivered by him in 1963 at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This is a very kind of like important place, and it makes it even more important for him to have his conversation, his speech done there. He goes on those steps right there to describe what his vision of America, what he envisions America can be in the future. By describing, he does, he also gives many iconic lines to kind of show what it is, the reality that they're living on, and what they could look like in the future. Which, I mean, looking back on it, almost 80, 50 years, I would say things have changed quite a bit from that point on to today's age. So I do think him having this speech was kind of like a catalyst effect that led to many other things happening as well. He just does his speech, he ends it, and I would say he becomes one of the most important figures for civil rights. He becomes very important. I mean, to this day and age, we still speak about him, and rightly so. Now, how this speech affects us all is that we can see racism happening all around the world. For college students especially, this is a moment that we can help change everything by being able to connect and kind of shift the narrative, and not shift the narrative, but by changing the perspective and knowing that, we're all people. Doesn't matter what skin or what our background is. It matters is that we're good people. I think we can, as a generation, we can make an effort to a point where that future generations won't be having to deal with. Just like looking back on how the stories and how things were back a couple generations back, they were very brutal and much, very different than they are today. So I think there's been a lot of work done. However, there still needs to be a lot more done. I would say this is a very powerful speech. It definitely has very ups moments that I think he included in the speech so that everyone that was present there could relate to it. Long-term effects for this, I don't think racism won't end from one day to another, but like I said throughout the speech, making sure as a generation we build on it. It might be possible that future generations down the line won't have to deal with it. Today I overviewed Martin Luther King's speech and applied it to us as college students on how we could take it. Just as a conclusion, we do need to be involved and speak up when racism happens and just put our best foot forward. Thank you.